Welcome back, everybody, once again to another episode of Tall and Short with Tim and Tony.
Oh, yeah, I'm Tony. Hi.
And I'm Tim.
It's my episode now?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to talk about Brendan Fraser.
I was going to say, we're talking about the mummy. Because you mentioned Brendan Fraser. I'm like, go on mummy now, Egyptian.
Nope, we're going to talk about Encino Man.
Encino?
Encino?
It's a word.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not from that area.
California? Okay.
I'm not from California. I never even been to California.
Didn't we just have a topic about movies, sir?
I don't watch dumb comedies.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I say that.
Just making sure we're on the same page that we had a topic regarding, or between the lines regarding movies, and you said you were really good with movies.
I'm familiar. I am aware of
Encino.
I'm aware of Encino Man. It's just that I've never watched it.
It's okay. Just because you're dumb. It's okay.
Doesn't that have Pauly Shore in it too?
I don't know.
You know, that's helpful.
Yeah. So basically, it's a familiar or a similar premise of Brendan Fraser's caveman character was frozen in block ice, and then I cannot remember the two main characters. They find him, unfreeze him, and all of a sudden, caveman's in modern day L.A. or San Fran or something.
Encino. That's why it's called Encino Man.
Shut up.
It's modern day California.
Blue pen. Get your blue pen.
You're a blue pen.
You're a blue pen, bitch.
Anyway, get to before we get too hostile, get to the fucking thing. Come on.
All right, we're going to talk about the Minnesota Iceman.
Ice baby.
What is with the 90s references?
You didn't think of it first. Ha.
I'm going to put you in a block of ice and freeze you and put you on display.
It would not be a very impressive turnout. You'd have to recruit your...
Because it'd be cold?
Ice cold.
Alright. What were we talking about? Yeah, okay. So, Iceman. So, I've got a couple different sources.
Not my favorite Marvel character, but still.
Get out.
We're in my house today, bitch.
This is just gonna be an hour of me and Tim arguing and being petty.
I mean, now come on, that's pretty par for the course with us.
That's fair. So, I'll just read this off sort of as a story, because spoilers, it's a story, it's a hoax. Shocker.
Story time.
No.
Shut up.
During the autumn of 1967, University of Minnesota zoology major Terry Cullen was visiting the Milwaukee area, and he saw an extraordinary exhibit. It appeared to be an authentic corpse of a very recently killed Bigfoot-like animal. Cullen followed the exhibit around Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota to the many shopping malls and state fairs at which it was exhibited, and sort of, one of those carnival sideshow, freaks.
Oh yeah,
sort of thing.
Sort of a P.T. Barnum thing going on.
Late era P.T. Barnum sort of thing.
I like it. Alrighty.
Towards the end of the 68 exhibiting season, after attempting without success to get various local anthropology professors interested in investigating the exhibit, Cullen finally alerted Ivan T. Sanderson, author of a book on abominable snowmen, and was that your cat?
No, we have neighbors.
Children.
We have neighbor kids outside. Yeah.
Sanderson asked contacts of his to examine it at the Chicago Stock Fair. At this time, Sanderson's house guest in New Jersey was Bernard Heuvelmans, the father of cryptozoology.
Oh, I've heard about Bernard Heuvelman.
Yep. Intrigued by what they had heard from Cullen, they traveled all the way over there to Chicago to see firsthand what Cullen was talking about. Just lost my place. Frank Hansen was the owner, I guess, of the Iceman, of this frozen block of corpse. And Hansen claimed it was a caveman left over from the Ice Age era. So at least 20, 30,000 years ago. Go ahead.
You know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Yeah.
Sanderson and Helvelman drove to Hansen's farm near Rolling Stone, Minnesota, where he stored the block of Iceman in between shows.
Okay.
Or in between the seasons.
Oh, yeah.
In a cramped trailer, they examined the creature. They were soon convinced that they had found the discovery of the century. I mean, that's a hell of a thing.
I mean, finding a preserved humanoid in ice.
From that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
With teeth and hair and, everything. They truly believed the beast was authentic. Thought they had smelled the putrefaction where some of the flesh had been exposed from the melted ice. So they were actually smelling the death.
Ew. Gross.
Yeah, right?
I've smelled putrefaction. It is
disgusting.
You do not forget it.
No. I lived on a ranch. We smelled lots of dead animals and not pretty. They noted the thing had apparently been shot through the eye and that the eye dangled on the face. Through the ice, they could hardly believe what they saw.
Shot through the eye?
It wasn't shot through the heart.
And you're to blame? Don't give love a bad name.
They probably wanted this thing alive over dead.
But they got it dead anyway. You got a scam call coming in, by the way.
That's like the 38th one today. It's
Fair
fine.
enough.
Probably just died from bad medicine.
Is that a Bon Jovi song?
That's a Bon Jovi song. I thought, were you not on board with this thing?
I'm dumb. I'm just keep doing your thing.
Oh my god.
I'm dumb.
So this is quoting Hoovelman. He described it this way: the specimen at first looks like a man, or if you prefer, an adult human being of the male sex. Of rather normal height, 6 foot roughly, and proportions but excessively hairy. It is entirely covered with very dark brown hair, 3 to 4 inches long. Its skin appears wax-like, similar in color to the cadavers of white men not tanned by the sun. First off, rude.
Yeah, very.
The specimen is lying on its back. The left arm is twisted behind the head with the palm of the hand upward. The arm makes a strange curve as if it were that of a sawdust doll. But this curvature is due to an open fracture midway between the wrist and the elbow where one can distinguish the broken ulna in a gaping wound. The right arm is twisted and held tightly against the flank with the hand spread palm down over the right side of the abdomen. Between the right finger and the medius, the penis is visible.
That's a penis.
Penis. We're not playing the penis game in church. Lying obliquely on the groin. I didn't read this quote all the way through.
Nope, we're still back on dick.
Dick jokes. The testicles are vaguely distinguishable at the juncture of the thighs.
Are they distended?
No, sir. They're very distinguished testicle. My big balls.
He's got big balls. The Iceman. The Iceman. Actually, they're probably very small now because it's in ice. Just
after getting to know Hansen a little bit, Hansen's desire was to keep the discovery quite notwithstanding. So he was wanting to keep it on the down low. Wasn't wanting to make a big deal of it. Probably just get more money, or because he knew it was a hoax long term. He affectionately referred to it as Bozo.
That's rude.
I was like, that's insulting even if I am a hoax.
Yeah, it's like very... It's like Bozo's a clown.
And Sanderson, who at the time was a popular TV nature personality, sort of like the Irwins used to be, and I think still are even.
Oh yeah, the Irwins are
Used to
still
go
very.
on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and talk about
Oh, he was.
animals.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was
one of those guys.
Oh, he was that type of dude, or
Going out the kinkajoos and the the
or
weird-
like what's his name? Jack Hanna, I think it is.
Hanna.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah, like
Same
Jack
era.
Hanna or Steve Irwin. Absolutely.
And he actually mentioned the Iceman on the Tonight Show during Christmas week in 1986.
Oh wow.
So he sort of name dropped it, despite not wanting to name drop it.
Name drop, my publicity. Me
Yeah.
saying it.
Over the next year, Hovelman and Sanderson wrote scientific papers. Hoovelman even formally named the creature Homo pongoides. Probably pronounced that incorrectly, and Sanderson published an article in the men's magazine Argosy. Still under still cloudy circumstances, the original body disappeared.
Oh.
And a model, apparently made in California, replaced the quote-unquote real creature. Rumors circulated across the Hollywood circuit that a bunch of makeup artists and effects artists and all that claimed that they were the ones that did it and were the actual producers of the Iceman. The two cryptozoologists fought against those claims and insisted that at least 15 technical differences existed between the original and the replacement.
Yeah.
So they were still arguing that this creature's still real, despite the original body not being around or disappearing. And Mark Hall actually took pictures of it. I'll send those to you at some point, or if you want to read through the book.
Yeah.
And Hall, the photographer, offered this speculation. So he took pictures of it up close and still wasn't 100% on it. It is likely that the rotting corpse of the famous Iceman was in early 1969 deposited into an unmarked and now forgotten grave by agents of the owner. Many have hoped that one day a fortunate accident or an incident of the demise of a wild man would one day provide a corpse and confirm the existence of such relatives of humankind. The history of Iceman, if accurate, is harmful to this expectation. The Smithsonian Institute got involved when Sanderson approached its chief primatologist, John Napier, and urged a scientific examination of the creature.
Good lord.
Yeah, so it went sort of like with your emus and the DoD. It went all the way to the top brackets.
That's hilarious.
Hansen, the original exhibitor. Why can I not talk? Exhibitor had neither confirmed nor denied.
You really.
Shush. I know, words goods. Confirmed nor denied that the original creature was even a model at all.
Yeah.
So he was pleading the fifth. All he would say was that the creature was really, quote unquote, owned by a mysterious millionaire.
Yes.
Of course it was.
It's always the eccentric, mysterious millionaire with a twirly mustache.
The millionaire from Atlantis Lost Empire.
That wouldn't surprise me. I feel like Whitmore would absolutely. I feel like Whitmore would.
I feel like that was one of the Easter eggs in the background we haven't noticed yet.
We probably couldn't even see it because it was so dark.
Yeah.
I'm now tempted to go back.
Oh, yeah. He declined to have it examined any further. Hansen did.
Of course.
So of course he was. Oh no, it's not. You can't examine it. I don't have permission from the true owner. And he actually removed the replacement model from exhibition for a while and even reported destroying it. It or a similar figure still shows up at mall exhibits on occasion, and that information will soon be updated. And after this.
Oh Lord.
This is a little out of date because this book is from. 97.
Yeah, I was gonna say that book. The book that you used was that thing is like the beginner's guide almost to cryptozoology.
Basically, people started poking holes in the ice block of truth that is the Iceman, saying that it was clearly a fake, gorilla suit stuffed with rotten meat for the petrification
Putrefaction.
Putrefaction.
Petrification
Smell.
is like turning to
Yeah,
stone.
turning to stone, yeah. And then there were more reports of other similar things being found in that exact situation of costume with meat in it.
Yeah.
So
Makes me think of quite a few of the Sasquatch hoaxes that have come out recently. Like there was that one a few years ago, semi-convincing almost, where it was like, it showed what the photo appeared to show a dead Bigfoot in like a giant ass cooler.
yeah,
And this was like what, 08, 09?
somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that margin.
I've lost a book. How did I do this? Where did my other book go?
How did you? I thought you had both of them up here.
Listen, I may have drank since then.
Good night.
What?
I said good night.
What happened?
Did you... I'm concerned for you. You said... I thought I saw 2 books.
You did.
I thought I saw
had
2
the
books.
Other one. Have I lost my mind? Oh, here it is. I found it. Calm down, everybody.
Okay.
Crisis averted.
Hang on a minute.
No, leave that in. Leave that in.
I mean, if you want me to.
I don't care. Just shows how incompetent we are sometimes. I am sometimes.
I was about to make... You know what? Screw it. I'll keep this in. Because I just want to show that sometimes we're disorganized.
No.
I said sometimes.
So.
But yeah, I remember that photo of that Bigfoot. And it's like, it was clearly a fake creature.
But, and I'm not 100% sure if this is the true one or I doubt, well, they're all fake, to be honest, but in February of 2013, the Iceman was reportedly auctioned on eBay.
Oh, come on.
The listing read, "This is the actual sideshow gaff billed as the Minnesota Iceman by Frank Hansen in the 1960s. So someone found the original at some point between the early mid 70s and 2013.
Oh my God.
What?
Keep on talking.
This is a one of a kind hoax that was fabricated by a mid 20th century showman. It was purchased by Austin, Texas's Museum of the Weird owner Steve Busty, who has it placed on public display and is still going on.
I have seen this.
I figured you might have.
A few years ago, my wife and I went down to Austin, Texas.
Yep.
And we didn't even know about the Museum of the Weird. We had
How did you not? It's you.
We had the Travel Channel on, right? Just beep.
Yeah.
And the Travel Channel has, mysteries at the museum or whatever.
Yes.
And they were covering something. They were covering a skeleton, I think. Mm-hmm. And the skeleton is on display at the Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas. And we were down there at the time, and I was like, I know what we can do for a little bit that morning is go to this place and walk around. It's very touristy, very.
Oh yeah, it's
very
a
much
sideshow.
It is very much a touristy location, much like the old
sideshow haunted houses on the main interstate exits,
give or take. But the thing is, it had a lot of cool stuff. It actually had a gremlin animatronic. No. Gremlin animatronic. Like from the movies.
Oh, from the movie.
From the movies. Nice. They had some movie stuff. They had some actual gaffs. They had this. There was a rule, no photos. Yeah, but sure enough, it was I didn't realize that was the Minnesota Iceman. I thought it was just another one. No, I didn't realize that. That's awesome. And it's actually a fairly deep museum, so to speak. From the outside, it looks like, unimpressive. But when you go through it, you go through a curtain, obviously. And then you essentially find yourself in some halls, like in a hall. Yeah. Detailing, here's Pancho Villa's trigger finger. They had a couple of other stuffs.
There's Rasputin's.
I wouldn't want to see that. But there was they had all types of stuff. They even had, They had a wax figure of John Merrick, the Elephant Man.
Nice.
They had that one. There was a bunch of wax figures up near the top, up near the end, really, of classic Hollywood horror movies. So, Phantom of the Opera, like the OG one with the scary-ass face. Yeah. A giant mock-up of King Kong's face and hands. Just,
damn.
There was a lot here. And
a lot of movie stuff. A lot of really cool.
It's also Austin, Texas. I mean,
yeah,
it's become
weird.
It's becoming a movie town.
Yeah.
So, becoming a movie city. And so it was something else. And the thing is this, see the Minnesota, and then it was like, see the Iceman. And you go in there, and sure enough, the room was cold, and there was big block of ice. I'm like, wait, and I was like, huh. Our mutual buddy Ryan, I think he'd appreciate this. Yeah. But I was like, there's a couple of these out there. I know there's the Minnesota. I didn't think it was that thing. Yeah, which they even had a little old timey TV show. Had an old TV showing like old ads and footage of people back then. It was surreal. You can even sit down on a bench and just look at it for a minute.
So there was actually, I tell you all that as a preface to, obviously it was all fake.
Yeah.
The first plot holes in the storyline, not accounting for the sequel trilogy. Still salty about those.
I don't think anybody is not salty.
Hansen, the original owner, revealed in a 1970 article in Saga magazine that he himself was the one who shot the creature while hunting in the deep woods of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And then exactly over on a different page, stated it was discovered in a region of Siberia and that he was acting as its caretaker for an absentee owner he described as an eccentric California millionaire. So, two very conflicting stories there. And then, yeah, they're saying the FBI actually got involved in this at one point, sort of. The FBI was actually informed that the subject might potentially be a murder victim, but the agency did not investigate because they were pretty sure it was a hoax themselves.
Oh yeah, that'd be something.
Yeah, and Hansen actually got detained by Canadian custom officials who were concerned he was transporting a cadaver, which I can see that being an issue. Like you said, it's been featured on a couple of, A&E, Travel Channel, museum shows like that. Shipping Warner's Mysteries at the Museum. God damn it, Ted. It's not a movie or show. Unsolved Mysteries. And then here's a little bit. The exhibit's current owner, Steve Busty, and others say that Hansen changed his story about the exhibit's origin 3 different times, and that the current exhibit may be a latex replica intended to protect Hansen from legal problems if he killed and illegally imported a rock ape, and another alleged cryptid from Vietnam, similar to the American Bigfoot.
Oh, come on.
While Hansen was a pilot during the Vietnam War.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I remember there being a Scooby-Doo episode about this thing, I think, at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was. And then it wound up being a guy in a rubber mask who was, like, trying to steal this fish communicator.
Yep.
Which is very, very odd.
And then I wanted to talk about one more real quick, because we're at, 30 minutes maybe?
A little under.
Okay. So another big, huge archaeological hoax in American history was the Cardiff Giant.
I have heard of the Cardiff Giant, if vaguely.
So, the Cardiff Giant, allegedly, so this is in the realm of if it had been real, was a 10-foot tall, roughly 3,000-pound petrified man.
There we go.
uncovered in October 16th, 1869 by workers digging a well behind the barn of William C. Stubb Newell.
Stubby.
Stubby. God damn it, Ted.
Stubb. I'm
Stubb.
That
Stubb Newell in Cardiff, New York.
Not Cardiff, England.
All right. He covered the giant with a tent, and it soon became an attraction site, of course. Both it and an unauthorized copy made by P.T. Barnum
Heyo!
are still being displayed. P.T. Barnum's is on replicas on display at Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
That is a mouthful and a half.
Alliteration.
I mean, if you're good at it.
So, the creation and the discovery of the Cardiff Giant.
Shoot.
Was the creation of New York tobacconist. He grew tobacco. Named George Hull. He was deeply attracted to science and was especially enamored with Darwin's theory of evolution.
Considering Darwin had brought that into a lot of people who read back then, were like, this is a fascinating topic.
So, if I remember this correctly, basically the footnotes was this was created as a fuck you to churches. Which I'm surprised. I don't know if anyone's gotten it yet. I'm all for that kind of stuff because that's funny to me.
Oh my goodness.
Not a great person sometimes, but Hull was an atheist and had gotten into an argument with a reverend and his supporters at a Methodist revival meeting about Genesis 6:4, which...
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, which states that there were giants who once lived on Earth. Being the minority party, Hull lost the argument. Angered by his defeat and the credulity of people, he wanted to prove to people how easily he could fool people with a fake giant.
I mean, 10 foot tall is pretty good.
Yeah. The original idea of a giant petrified man didn't originate with Hull, however. During 1958, the newspaper Alta California had published a fake letter claiming a prospector had been petrified when he had drunk a liquid within a geode. That sounds like a Tall Tales right there.
That sounds
like one of those old wife warnings.
Old wives' tales, yeah.
Yeah. Don't drink the liquid out of a rock, you'll become a rock.
That sounds, and like that's the forbidden coconut right there. By just that description.
Don't drink the forbidden coconut.
Don't drink the forbidden coconut, you'll turn into stone.
And this was back in the late 1860s into the 1900s. So of course, dinosaurs being discovered.
Dinosaurs and
all these things, yeah. All this paranormal and weird stuff allegedly being found. P.T. Barnum, just being P.T. Barnum.
He was making money off of it.
In 1868, Hull, accompanied by a man named H.B. Martin. Why don't we go back to having our first two initials?
I'd be T.R. Harris.
That sounds pretty goddamn cool.
Yeah, I'd be that one.
A.T. Woolard.
It's not
I feel
bad.
like we shouldn't be giving out this information.
They don't know what our... Well, I mean yours is...
they do now.
Yeah. T.R. Harris at your service.
Exactly.
Oh God, that does sound better.
You're welcome.
I'm tempted.
You're going to go to work and people are going to be like, what's your name? T.R. Harris.
It's kind of funny because...
And then they're going to walk away.
It's kind of funny just because, like, my initials are TR. My mother would occasionally call me that, TR. And then I eventually became somebody who was a big fan of Theodore Roosevelt. So, more TR. It just kind of... It's slowly snowballed. It's slowly snowballed.
Oh, yeah, giants.
Giants... There may be giants.
Hull and Martin hired men to quarry out a 10-foot, 4.5-inch long block of gypsum in Fort Dodge, Iowa, telling the diggers it was intended to be a monument for Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, in New York.
Trying to make fun of Abraham Lincoln's height?
I mean, yes and no.
Cheh.
They shipped the block to Edward Burghardt in Chicago, a German stonecutter whom he had sworn to secrecy. So he had a lot of people involved in this.
Jeez.
Burkhart had hired 2 sculptors named Henry Saul and Fred Moorman to create the giant.
Mm-hmm.
They had taken cautious steps to cover up their work during the carving, putting up quilts to lessen the sound of the carving itself.
Yeah.
So this guy paid all sorts of people for a big-ass block of rock to get shipped from Iowa to Chicago, and then swore a guy to secrecy and his, I assume, apprentices to secrecy, all to piss off a church.
That is a level of petty.
The amount of petty in this man is just...
That's impressive.
Chef's kiss. If you couldn't tell, this episode is just about fun and petty behavior. The giant was actually mimicked after the form of Hull himself. Pretty sure he probably went a little exaggerated in a couple of areas, as most men do. Hull consulted a geologist, probably swore him to secrecy too, and learned that hairs wouldn't be petrified, so he removed the hair and beard from the giant.
That actually that does track.
He did his fucking research.
The amount of petty. I mean, I am here for this right now. I want to see how this goes.
The length of the giant was 10 foot and then 4.5 inches, and it weighed 2,990 pounds.
Okay, 2,990. And this thing's made of what? Gypsum? That is
That's a heavy fucking rock.
Yeah, it's a heavy chunk.
That's almost a ton and a half of rock. He just keeps getting better with the petty. Various stains and acids were used to make the giant appear to be old and weathered, in order to make it look old and weathered.
Oh, okay. This is used. I'm looking up gypsum because I got curious. It's used to make plaster and drywall, blackboards, sidewalk chalk. So that's
looks like that.
It looks
like plaster.
Yeah, it's a soft mineral. So, but that sounds about right.
Hull first wiped the giant using a sponge soaked with sand and water. The surface was beaten with steel knitting needles and... God damn it, Ted. Embedded in a board to simulate pores.
Jeez.
The giant was also rubbed with sulfuric acid to create a deeper vintage-like color. November of 1868, Hull transported the giant by railroad to the farm of his cousin William Newell. By then, so he bought the stone. He bought a solid block of gypsum in Iowa, had it shipped to Chicago, had a stone cutter and his apprentices sworn to secrecy, so he had to pay him off.
That'd be a lot to pay off. Yeah, big time.
Under the table. Then had it shipped over to, where was it? To his cousin's farm, where it was discovered, and this was all in Cardiff, New York. So in Iowa, Chicago, New York. Take a guess how much, and again, this is the early 1870s. Basically.
Yeah.
Take a wild guess how much it took.
Money-wise?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 5 G's. $5,000.
$2,600.
$2,600. I was over.
But in the 1868.
Yeah, I know. No, that's why I was going. That's why I went low. I wasn't gonna go like $1 million because it's like, yeah, nobody's gonna do it. Like $5,000 is still pretty good.
The equivalent is $60,000.
Good night.
That's a nice truck, or car, or house, even.
No
that's
kidding.
Like half of a decent house.
Jeez.
Paid $60K in 2020 money for the hoax.
Ha!
On a night in late November 1868, the giant was buried in a hole in Newell's farm. Nearly a year later, Newell hired Gideon Emmons and Henry Nichols ostensibly to dig a well.
Ostensibly.
And on October 16th, 1869, they found the giant.
Aha!
This is going to get problematic.
The discovery of the century.
Not what he said.
Uh-oh.
Not what Emmons or Nichols had said.
This is old-timey language, by the way. We do not condone this. This is just for historical purposes.
One of the men reportedly exclaimed, "I declare, some old Indian has been buried here."
As I say again, this is old language that we are repeating just mostly for the sake of... For the sake of accuracy, we do not believe in this sort of thing.
So, there's the plot.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have played that last, like, Ocean's 11. Like, here's how the heist actually happened.
This story alone, I would love for this to be a movie. Just the absolute pettiness of this guy.
That is a level of petty. To put it in car terms, I know you don't understand sometimes. The level of pettiness that's comparative to this is when the founder of Lamborghini owned a Ferrari and went in to get it repaired, and it cost him too much. He's like, I'm just going to build my own car.
With blackjack and hookers.
You know what? Forget the blackjack. And Enzo Ferrari himself said, yeah, go ahead. You're just some tractor builder.
Oh, I remember that, yes.
And Lamborghini went on to become the epitome of a supercar.
It's like blew Ferrari out of the water.
Yeah. Like, that's you know what? I'm going to just make my own cars.
That's funny. I've heard about that story, how Lamborghini went to Ferrari, and Ferrari was like, you're just a
tractor builder.
You don't know anything about it. And now Lamborghinis are more sought out for than Ferraris, I would argue.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, Lamborghinis are absolutely like the ultimate bedroom poster car.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
What were we talking? Giants.
You're talking about giants. There may be giants.
Do not get me involved on cars. I will go on a tangent. On the first day, visitors were actually able to see the giant with no fee charged.
I mean, you gotta have
publicity.
Gotta have some free people. Like, people come up, oh my goodness, and then you get the news outlets going in.
On the next day, a tent was set up at the Discovery site, and each visitor was charged 50 cents for a 15-minute session of viewing the giant. I don't know what other type of session you would have with that, but
50 cents for 15 minutes. That's about reasonable.
The number of visitors were about 300 to 500 per day.
Again, that sounds about right. People just either walking, riding horses, or buggies. Because this is the late 1800s, right?
Yes.
Cars, the automobile.
Was not invented yet.
Well,
so
bits and pieces of it.
50 cents times 500 per day, that's $250.
$250, and that's back then money.
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Making a couple thousand a day.
Gosh, I was making that kind of money in this economy.
All
right. I'm just over here, just kind of like looking like Beaker from the Muppets, just like my head's sunk into my shoulders. Sound like Squidward.
So, obviously, yeah, wagons and carriages dramatically increased. The townspeople gained a huge profit because of the giant. Hotels and restaurants.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you have,
he was a good businessman and he was thinking for the community. No, he wasn't.
He was a good
He was trying to piss off a church.
He was a good hoaxer who unintentionally helped his community.
Yep.
Which is impressive.
Some obviously believed it was a real thing. Some believed it was a statue. Some believed it was Some believed it was a petrified man from Genesis. Just straight up thought it was from Genesis.
Man, I can already mean he looks a little like Phil Collins.
He definitely did not feel it coming in the air tonight.
No. And I mean, of course, there's also, And it makes me wonder if this guy were originally from Genesis. It's like this. I mean, Jesus, he knows me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yes.
I know that guy.
Yes. We're dumb.
God damn it, Ted. On the other hand, John F. Boynton, the first geologist to examine the giant. There's the plot hole.
We have a scientist involved. Damn it, scientists. Damn scientists ruining everything, all the fun.
Damn you with your logic and thoughts and
your
accurateness.
Fancy
accuracy.
College degrees.
Declared that it could not be a fossilized man. Could not be a fossilized man. There's another T-shirt idea.
Fossilized.
I do declare I'm fossilized.
I now need to have like suspenders or something to say fossified, my good sir.
But hypothesize.
All right.
I'm gonna get through this sentence. I am falling apart.
You're sitting just like the damn giant too. Like you're leaned back now, just like the damn giant.
I am the giant.
Yeah, out of the two of us.
This is a statue that was carved by a French Jesuit in the 16th or 17th century. So the professional rock guy wasn't even right.
The professional rock guy was fooled, and even further, he was so inundated in his superiority complex that he just had to say, yes, it's a Jesuit who produced this. Like, oh, get out of here.
So we've had a professional rock guy come out and look at this. Who else do you think got involved?
I wonder if this guy would like crack rock.
His name wasn't Jimmy. Oh, wait, that's Korn.
Anyway. Let's see. Who else was involved?
The first president of Cornell University.
Cornell?
Yale paleontologists.
Yale. Okay. Were there any presidents involved? Like actual, like U.S. Were they involved?
No.
All right, then.
But Cornell and Yale were involved. That's.
All right, then the conspiracy doesn't hold up. Fair enough.
Andrew D. White, the first president of Cornell University, had put his 2 cents in.
Nah, 50 cents.
In the club? It's a weird episode. This is why we don't do doubles. If we're doing a triple, we're doing it between the lines after this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's been a minute.
To say we're running on fumes. So, Mr. White, quote unquote. Excuse me, I thought something else was coming up. Being asked my opinion, my answer was that the whole matter was undoubtedly a hoax. That there was no reason why the farmer should dig a well in the spot where the figure was. He's not even arguing about the giant being a hoax. He's like, yeah, you wouldn't dig a hole there. That doesn't make sense.
Why are you digging a hole?
Why are you digging a well there?
What's a well?
Oh well. That it was convenient neither to the house nor to the.
Well.
No.
There it is. I needed one of them. I got it.
That was convenient neither to the house nor to the barn, that there was already a good spring and stream of water running conveniently to both. So his issue wasn't even with the material or the giant itself. It was his issue was location.
Location. It's that's funny. That I'm loving the mixed results of people with the Cardiff Giant. Well, I actually know what we can call this episode now. This episode is not museum attractions, I want to say, but more like
it's very a hoax to see you.
Humanoid Hoaxes. I like that one.
Anyway, what's okay.
Yeah, location.
As to the figure itself, it certainly could not have been carved by any prehistoric race, since no part of it showed the characteristics of such early work. That, rude as it was, it betrayed the qualities of a modern performance of a low order. God damn.
So he just calling
throwing some shade on this
He's throwing
one.
whoever made it. He looked at it and said, "Whoever made this was stupid."
Yeah. However,
there's always the however.
The other shoe. He was taken aback by the channels on the bottom part of the Giant, stating that for such grooving to be created on local Onondaga gray limestone would require years. So he questioned the location, not the statue, then said the statue was made by an idiot, but then said, oh wait, no, this is really good.
Careful about waving the mic around. We're holding our mics this episode. That's not a euphemism.
Avada Kedavra. Yale paleontologist Othniel C. Marsh examined the statue, pointing out that it was made of soluble gypsum. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
You are doing very well with names, too.
Surprisingly. But hypothesize. We're not doing that word so good. Which it had been buried in its blanket of wet earth. There we go. For centuries.
Now it's just like, oh.
Wait, hang on. No phrasing.
Oh?
Pointing out that it was made of soluble gypsum, which, had it been buried in its blanket of wet earth for centuries, would not still have fresh tool marks on it.
Aha!
Which it did. Yale caught it.
Of course Yale would catch it.
Take
that, Harvard.
Fuck you, Cornell. And termed it a most decided humbug. What?
There's always a but.
I'm not going to say the reference I was going to make because 2 buttholes.
Yeah, no.
We're not going that direction.
Nope.
Some theologians and preachers.
Theologian.
No, I'm American.
Anyway, theologians and preachers
defended its authenticity.
The guy who started all this, who was his name? What was his name again?
I don't even remember it.
The guy who started the Cardiff Giant, he's just laughing now.
Stubb. How did we forget that?
How did we forget Stubb? You know, so Stubb is just loving this.
No, Stubb is rolling his ass off laughing all the way to the bank.
Oh, yeah, no, he's laughing. He's enjoying himself. Like, he's made money, and the church is now saying, yeah, it's a giant. And he's just like, I have achieved victory. I can die happy.
So, eventually, Holt and Stubb sold his part interest for $23,000 in 1800s money.
23,000. That's 2 3 and then 3 zeros.
Equivalent to 554,000. Over $500,000.
That is beautiful.
Equivalent today.
The man, that man laughing on his way to the bank.
To a syndicate of 5 men headed by David Hannum. They moved it to Syracuse, New York for exhibition.
Okay.
Guess who shows back up? The Giant drew such crowds that showman P.T. Barnum offered $50,000 for the Giant. When the syndicate refused, P.T. hired a man to model the Giant's shape covertly in wax and create a plaster replica. If he doesn't get to have it, he's going to make a duplicate and he's going to say it's original.
P.T. Barnum. He's a fun character.
I feel like we could do an old-timey episode.
I feel like I could
put like old-time like radio effects in.
I feel like I could easily cover. I think we want to cover him. He's got an interesting history.
P.T. went so far, he actually claimed that his wax replica was the real deal and the real fake
was fake.
Gypsum was the fake.
Man, P.T. be petty.
Yeah.
Petty P.T.
Hannum sued Barnum for calling his giant a fake, but the judge told him to get his giant to swear on his own genuineness in court if he wanted a favorable injunction.
Get the dead giant stone fucking thing to testify in its own behalf.
Get the carved stone piece. I wish... I'm not going to get political. I wish we could have more injunctions and judges like that. Oh, yeah, it's fake? Present it.
That is beautiful. That is hilarious. That
Prove
judge,
to me that it's fake.
that judge was not having it.
I feel like that judge was probably having a laugh. He was like, oh, yeah, it's real, huh?
And it's
Prove
B.T.
it.
Barnum who says that his is real, but you better figure it out.
On December 10th, 1869. So this all happened within 3 years.
Good God.
Yeah.
Man, Stubb is still laughing.
Hole confessed everything to the press.
Stubb
confessed.
He finally said, yeah, it was fake.
And on February 2nd, 1870, both giants were revealed as fakes in court. The judge also ruled that Barnum could not be sued for terming a fake giant a fake.
That's hilarious.
Hold proclaimed that he didn't confess because of criticism, but he confessed proudly because he intended for the hoax to be exposed to reveal the tendency of the Christian... God damn.
All right.
Expose the tendency of the Christian community to believe in things too easily and to counter the fundamentalist beliefs that giants once roamed the earth. Wow.
Dude.
I apologize to any of our listeners that are deeply Christian, but man, that's even on just a level of petty impressiveness.
Oh, yeah.
You have to go with, yeah, that's good. That's wow.
Sheesh.
I love this man. I love Stubb. Oh, so after the fallout, you know what? I just was able to put a comparison together for that.
Okay.
I Am Iron Man.
Oh my God.
That is the ending of the first Iron Man movie, where he's got this whole explanation of, this wasn't me, this was a stealth unit or something. He's like, nah, I'm Iron Man.
Wasn't that part still like improvised by
it was
RDJ?
Robert Downey Jr. Of course it was improvised.
He's just like, I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
And they kept it in. It's
and
like
he started a legacy.
Oh yeah.
Now we're getting into Marvel movies.
Yeah, we did earlier with the Iceman.
Yeah.
Not my favorite mutant.
Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler.
You?
Yeah. Nightcrawler. 100%.
I'm trying to think on mine. I'm trying to think on mine, if I'll be honest.
I feel like you would be Professor X for some reason. You wouldn't be, but that's your favorite.
Kind of up there. I do like the whole. I'd like the ability to. Problem is though, like if he even so much as gets a seizure, everybody around him is dead.
Can we just agree Cyclops sucks?
I'm not a Cyclops fan either.
He's the Superman of Marvel. He's too goody two shoes.
Yeah, I'm not a big Cyclops fan. I'm not a big Jean Grey fan either. Anyway, before
I like Madeline Pryor, but that's for other reasons.
Anyway, let us focus back because
why? Okay, so
we're not a Marvel podcast
yet. Bum bum bum. Anyway, the Cardiff Giant, the fallout, and the subsequent aftermath. Cardiff Giant was displayed at the 1901 Pan American Goddammit TED. It's a real thing happened. Pan American Exposition, but what did not attract that much attention because everyone knew it was a fake.
Yeah.
Iowa publisher Gardner Cowles Jr. bought it later to adorn his basement. This is a room we need to bring back. To adorn his basement rumpus room.
A rumpus room.
As a coffee table.
So the Cardiff Giant became a coffee table?
And in 1947, Cowles sold it to the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York, where it's still displayed.
I would love to go see this, just for the sake of, like, yeah, I got to see the Cardiff Giant.
The owner of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum coin-operated game arcade and Museum of Oddities in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Yeah.
Says he has the replica that Barnum made.
Oh, nice.
And another replica of the Giant is displayed at the Fort Museum in Frontier Village in Fort Dodge, Iowa. So every part of this Giant's creation...
Yeah.
Iowa, where the gypsum was from.
Yeah.
Chicago, P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
And then in Michigan, or in New York, where it got discovered.
Sounds almost like... It makes me almost think of... for some reason, I'm thinking of Johnny Cash, I've Been Everywhere, Man.
Right.
It's just feeling like that right now.
So, imitators.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Except that one time by Barnum. Cardiff Giants also inspired similar hoaxes because no one has an original idea anymore. Hollywood.
God damn it.
In 1876, the solid Muldoon was exhibited in Blue, Colorado at 50 cents a ticket. There was also a rumor that Barnum had offered to buy it for $20,000. One employee later revealed that it was also a creation of George Hull. Stubby had a reputation.
Stub just like, man, I'm a see what I can do here.
This was the prototype. This was the proto-Cardiff.
This was the proto-Cardiff?
1876.
Oh, wow.
10 years almost to the year earlier.
That's awesome.
In Colorado. Stub was aided by William Conant. The solid Muldoon was made of clay, ground bones, meat, rock, dust, and plaster.
Oh, they actually went to make sure that there was some putrefaction involved, too.
In 1879, the owner of a hotel at what is now Tofanock Falls State Park hired men to create a fake petrified man and place it where workmen would dig it up. One of the men who had buried the giant later revealed the truth when he was drunk. God damn it, Jack. We're always ruining the fun. 1897, a petrified man found downriver from Fort Benton, Montana, was claimed by promoters to be the remains of former territorial governor and U.S. Civil War General Thomas Francis Meagher. Meagher had drowned in the Missouri River during 1867, 30 years earlier. The petrified man was displayed across Montana as a novelty and exhibited in New York and Chicago. Another fake.
Yep.
Popular culture-wise, not actually a whole lot, surprisingly.
Huh.
There are a couple that I like.
Yeah.
Back to Marvel. J. Jonah Jameson writes that Spider-Man is the biggest hoax since the Cardiff Giant and the Amazing Spider-Man number 18 in 1964. It's been referenced in music, been on album covers. Power violence band Spaz used an image of the Cardiff Giant for their album Dwarf Jester Rising.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Those were words.
Those were words.
Those were words.
Those were words.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Keep on going. My head hurts a little.
The Ghost of the Cardiff Giant is a character in the short story titled A Ghost Story by Mark Twain.
It wouldn't surprise me that the humorist, essayist that is Mark Twain would
write about the hoax that was meant to fuck with people.
Yeah, he would easily be making fun of it. And I can see that happening.
Cardiff Giant also inspired the story Capitolone Venus by Mark Twain. So he was an inspiration behind two of them.
Nice.
So, yeah.
There's a piece of American folklore that proves to be fake.
Like much of American folklore. But yeah, that was my episode. I wanted to do the Minnesota Iceman, and then it turned into... Where is the front of this? And then it turned into a reference, just a hoax-a-thon.
Couple of humanoid hoaxes.
Yep.
Which, these are pretty cool.
I remember hearing a little bit about the Cardiff Giant. I think via Crow at one point, actually.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And then, yeah, I was browsing through Minnesota Iceman's page and was like, oh shit, Cardiff Giant, that sounds familiar. Scroll. Holy shit, I remember this now.
Yeah, the Minnesota Iceman, because you have this. You and I have that same book, that cryptozoology book.
Yep.
And I would always just skip past that because it's like Iceman. Okay, Frozen. I didn't even put any thought behind it.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I liked the water creature. I liked the reptile creatures. Those are my guys.
Yeah. But I think that's my episode. I wanted to just. I feel like we're gonna slowly start segueing into P.T. Barnum. We've dropped his name like on 5 or 6 different episodes now.
Absolutely Barnum. He pops. There's quite a few figures and items really that pop up.
I feel like at some point we're just gonna start doing
that. We eventually
expose pieces about individual people like P.T. or Sanderson or the Bigfoot video.
Oh, Patterson Gimlin.
I feel like we're going to do episodes about them eventually at some point.
Yeah, no.
There's just enough about them to make, a quick 30-minute bit.
There's, I've got a couple of, like, actual people who have who have had some very ridiculous lives.
Yeah.
Some of it not even paranormal or supernatural.
Just bizarre.
Just outright, like, what Scooby-Doo level nonsense did I just get myself into?
Yeah.
It gets that ridiculous a couple of times.
So, yeah, Minnesota Iceman is in Austin, and the Giant is in... Well, one of them is in New York, and the other one's in Chicago, and the other one's in Iowa. So, I feel if we ever get enough money for this, and we have enough time and patience on our hands, I feel like we need to make a tour. And we'll just do a couple podcast episodes at these places.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Once we have the money and we're getting millions of dollars from this podcast. That's the end goal, right? Yeah, that's the end goal.
I like doing
Please
this.
Donate.
Yeah, please donate. We need money. No.
I need gas money, man. In this economy.
Don't get too real.
Unlike the Minnesota Iceman. So, that's it. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, listening. There's
one of those words. Listening to this amazing, brilliant, super researched podcast about things that go bump in the night or are dug up in the middle of the night. I don't know what I'm talking. I'm just going on a tangent. Please help me. Please save me.
Okay. I was trying to think of like I was trying to think about our next episode. I have enjoyed like doing little teasers, like what to expect, but I do feel as though like I think we'll hold off. I want to hold off for a minute.
I've got an idea for one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go and do a little bit of research to flesh it out. And by that, you're going to have to do an episode while I flesh it out.
That's how it usually goes.
But I was thinking probably talk about what inspired Houndoom, the Pokemon.
Fair enough.
My favorite.
That'll be a couple episodes now, more than likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, flesh that out. What? I just had an inspiration. All right. Yep. We're gonna be dealing with some weird ass shit next episode.
As opposed to having a normal, not weird episode.
When you have glowing figures trying to attack you, it gets weird. So we're gonna do that.
No, that just means you've taken too much acid at Burning Man.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not let myself go.
I kind of want to see that happen, but also at the same time, I really don't want to have to babysit you on that.
No, I will. I don't think I'd be in the right. I don't think I would be good for drugs. My mentality by itself is not good. So.
And that's when the drugs kicked in.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh my God, that's me.
But everybody, thank you all for listening once again to Tall and Short with Tim and Tony. I'm Tim. He's Tony. We hope you all have enjoyed listening to this. Follow us. Let's see. First off, as always, logo by my friend, Brittanie Miller. Actually, Brittanie Norris. She's married now.
Congratulations. I didn't know that.
Absolutely. You can follow us on social media at Tall and Short Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Also, email us at tallandshortpod@gmail.com. And if you want to see photos related to these, they are on our Instagram, and by proxy, they wind up finding their way to Facebook. So, follow us on there. So, comment, like, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your dog. Go tell about go find the Cardiff Giant and say, hey, subscribe to the podcast. He'll wake up.
Well, because everyone has one. He's probably a water fountain somewhere in someone's house.
Be sure to put some clothes on him first, in case of indecent exposure.
I want to make a joke. I'm not going to make the joke.
Go ahead, make the joke.
He's just rock hard all the time.
On that note, everybody, thank you all for listening. Hope you all have an amazing day.
Don't lick or eat yellow snow.
Take it easy.